Hi there, everyone. I'm Meteorologist Addison Green, checking out some strong thunderstorms that are just starting to pop up in a few spots across the area. And by strong, I mean they're bringing around a good amount of booms of thunder and some flashes of lightning, but we're not seeing any severe criteria coming out of these storms right here. But we are noticing there is a potential for seeing some minor flooding in a few spots. So pretty much right across the area, from going across the I-10 corridor down in towards Highway 59, we've been seeing this boundary set up over the past few hours, and it's only from the past hour or so these storms have actually finally utilized that boundary, starting to build on up, and they're really starting to pop on up across the area. You can hear right here outside of our studio, we have those booms of thunder being heard. Probably you can hear it through my mic. As we move on down across portions of southern Harris County, we do have an aerial flood advisory through 9:30. What this pretty much means is that you're maybe seeing some low-lying areas with some standing water building on in from many of these slow-moving thunderstorms that have come on in across the vicinity. After yesterday's storms and all that scattered shower activity that was around during the morning hours, the ground in many spots is saturated, so it can only absorb so much before you start getting runoff, and then that runoff starts going down in towards some of the low-lying streets. So just be on the lookout for that, and it does include portions of the Houston metro area down towards Brookside Village, so from portions of southern Harris County down in towards northern sections of Brazoria County, we have to be on the lookout for those minor flooding conditions going on across that vicinity. As we take a look at the other areas across the region, we are noticing that boundary is pretty much setting up. You can see right here from Beaumont down towards Liberty and pushing on in towards El Campo. We have the sea breeze coming on in, of course, from the Gulf of Mexico, and then we've had this dry push of air pushing on down from a northeasterly direction over the course of pretty much the second half of the day. That's a result of that dry air coming in the wake of yesterday's cold front, and it's been trying to push on down towards the Gulf of Mexico, but we've been watching that sea breeze kind of win the battle, and as we saw that battle area set up shop, that's where those thunderstorms are popping on up, feeding up that daytime heating, and once you kind of like just break that cap, so to speak, boom, here they go. They start popping on up and moving on down across the area. You can generally see those winds diving on down towards a southwesterly direction from Sugar Land, pushing it down towards El Campo and making its way down in towards the Wharton area. I'm going to go ahead and zoom on down across a few of those storm cells so you can see how they look if you're in those areas. Let's go on down and across the Wharton area just outside of New Hayton. We do see a couple of lightning strikes being reported up towards the Egypt area as well. And this cell is moving down towards a southwesterly direction of roughly about 5 to maybe 15 miles per hour or so. Riding right along Highway 59 towards Beasley, you can see more storms pushing on in across the area. And coming on in from southern sections of Brookhaven down in towards Brookside Village, right over where that flood advisory is. That's why we do have it up in effect, because of that most recent cluster of thunderstorms pushing on from the south, heading northward, and it's bringing around a fair amount of lightning strikes. There's about several right there. I can go ahead and count them for you. But we're also seeing those high rainfall rates coming on down from time to time. Got about over 40 lightning strikes being reported right there in that red highlighted polygon. As we take a look at the rainfall rates coming on down, we'll go ahead and pause this at the most latest scan. We can see how much rain is coming on down. Rainfall rates are roughly between, let me get that out of the way, that watch and warning graphic. There we go, clear that out. And we can see we do have rainfall rates coming in at roughly about 1.25 inches per hour coming on in that red highlighted polygon. Going down across southern sections of the downtown area, rainfall rates are pretty much the same. So if you're driving out and about or about to head on out and about this evening, just bear that in mind. You're going to get a quick and heavy downpour from this slow-moving thunderstorm that is coming on in across the vicinity. But nothing to be alarmed about, nothing we're not used to across the Houston metro area, but just something to take notice in case you are heading in and out for any dinner plans, or perhaps you are just running out to run some errands. You have to deal with these storms coming and going from time to time. As we take a look at what's going on across the rest of the region, as I advance the graphics right here for you, we have seen some areas pick up so far. Radar estimates in the past 3 hours near Brookside Village, almost 1.5 inches of rainfall, close to 2 inches in the Beasley area, and a little over 1.5 inches in the Egypt area, just outside the Hungford area as well. So pretty much riding right along 59, you're dealing with these wet and soggy patches every now and then popping on up across the region. You can see that dry air pushing on down, and then here's that moisture making its way northward, and there's that battle zone right there where a few of those thunderstorms did happen to pop on up right along where the sea breeze is. Now that we're starting to inch our way towards the sunset time frame, we're losing that daytime heating, so these cells will kind of fade away as we start to make our way in towards the 8 o'clock hour and 9 o'clock hour as well. as we start to make our way in towards the evening hours. Definitely showers fading away as well. As we make our way throughout your future track right here, pushing in towards tomorrow, we're going to have a warm front lift on up across the area. At first, we'll have partly to mostly cloudy skies, and there will be some patchy fog hanging around. That's due to the light winds coming on in overnight, plus all that moisture coming in from yesterday and these showers coming in through today will lead to some light misty conditions in a few spots. But once that warm front begins to lift on up across the area, it's going to introduce scattered thunderstorm chances. Roughly about 30 to 40% is that chance out there across from pretty much the I-10 corridor and northward as we watch that flow of motion of the air move from south to north, bringing that moisture off the Gulf of Mexico, and as it starts to move over land, starts to rise, starts to heat up, and then you start getting those clouds to build on up, and then here we go, we got thunderstorms developing, and that'll be the general pattern as that warm front moves on towards the north. Then once we get past day to day and in towards the next few days, we'll have this big ridge of high pressure move on in, and that's going to allow us to get our temperatures to heat on up across the area for the next several days, in which case, as I go ahead and wrap this up for you in your 7-day forecast, we're going to be seeing the rain chances diminishing once that ridge of high pressure moves on in. We'll be having our temperatures feeling close to 110 degrees. Many spots will be around 108, 109, but yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a few spots hit 110 degrees with an afternoon high of 96. So only a few degrees higher than our normal high of 93, but it's because of all the humidity around that we're really seeing that feel-like temperature feeling just kind of on the oppressive side of things. That still will be the case out there for Friday with just a very small rain chance developing, more of a pop-up rain chance. You get all that heat, all that humidity, the afternoon hours get things going, and then boom, here we go, may have an isolated thunderstorm. But we do watch that storm potential increasing for Saturday and then for Sunday as well. But watch those afternoon highs starting to decrease as we get that ridge of high pressure to pull away, and we start to open the door for a little bit more of a wet pattern to set up shop. But hopefully it does give us a break from high heat and high humidity like we did see earlier on this month that lasted pretty much for days on end. If anybody is just joining us, I'll go ahead and go right back to the top of the show briefly to touch on the rain coming on down. We're seeing that being an issue in several spots across from southern sections of Harris County as I zoom on down, going across Fort Bend County and hanging out in towards portions of Colorado County, going in towards the Wharton area as well. So just be on the lookout. If you're heading on down from I-10, making your way down Highway 59, you will be running into a few slow-moving thunderstorms along the way. For the most part, we're not talking about widespread flooding. Just one area right now does have a flood advisory on it, and that is this area right here, highlighted in green for you. Does include portions of the western loop and towards the almost the Beltway area, but definitely down in towards sections of Brazoria County, like Brookside Village. Flood advisory is up through 9:30 this evening due to we have seen a good amount of rainfall the past few days, and the grounds are kind of soggy, so any bit of rainfall that does come on down could lead to some localized flooding concerns over that way. And we do have those breezy winds just starting to come through right in this quarter right there, right where that sea breeze is colliding with a north-northeasterly breeze, and those air masses are clashing, and that's where it's setting up shop pretty much right down that populated corridor of travel. We'll keep our eyes on the radar as we go throughout the evening hours, and definitely make sure you join us right here at 10 on the TV side of things for the latest news and weather as we break things down for you for the evening hours. I'm Meteorologist Addison Green, and I'll see you there.